Well, here we are. The Edgemasters has finally arrived. Myself and Gary Rodgers has put a bit of work into this because it's been a very popular event. The tickets sold out very, very quickly. We've had to make a bit of a shift due to an oxygen problem in the moat. Ideally, we wanted it on the moat, but we've had to peg it accordingly with what we've been able to do at Hallcroft. We're here at Hallcroft. We're paying our respects to Hallcroft in the amount of work that they've done on the venue to accommodate this match. You know, this is going to be a great match, and it's something different as well. It's about the Edgemaster, about edge fishing, putting your float next to features. The most favourite way, I'd say, of catching fish on commercials, especially in the later on in the day, that I'd say a lot of anglers actually can't wait for that last hour to come to catch down the edge. So, with that in mind, why not run a competition based on that principle? And that's exactly why we're here today. So we're at Hallcroft Fisheries. We've got the reed pool in, we've got the bridge pool, and we've also got the croft pool. There's 44 anglers fishing, which is great. It's a 3-hour match. So let me just quickly run through the format of what we're doing here. So the principle is, there's a pole limit of 13 metres. That's to stop anglers fishing really long down the bank. And it's all about catching fish down the edge, so you don't need to fish anything past 13 metres. You're only allowed to put your float against cover. So that means in front of a platform, against vegetation, before the platform. And I think it's going to be really interesting because there's a lot of big names here spread around the complex. As I said, it's a 3-hour match. But what we've done differently is we've drawn at 1 o'clock. The match starts at 3. And as soon as you get to your peg within a space of time, the whistle's just gone. So it's giving everybody time to get to the peg. You can actually feed your peg before the match commences. So there's still an hour, don't know why I looked at my bracelet, there's still an hour remaining before the start of the match, and it's down to the anglers on the pegs when they actually feed the pegs, when they're going to prime the pegs, and I think that could make a big difference, or it may not. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And that is the principle. Feed your peg before the start of the match, the whistle goes, and then we fish 3 till 6, and we'll see who is crowned the Edge Champion. Now, favourites, anglers on the lakes. Well, I've had a look on Croft, and when I actually pegged Croft Pool, there were a lot of fish down the edge, but with how we've had to peg it because of the amount of anglers turning up, maybe that could be a lake that could switch off, I don't know. But if I was to pick an angler on that lake, I would either pick Jason Lebowski on peg 15 or Steve Barraclough on peg 2. However, we've also got Adam Wakeling on peg 5 and Craig Tidswell on peg 21. Any of those anglers could get away if that lake fishes, and that is the big question. On the reed pool, I'm not sure who's actually drawn on the reed pool, but again, that is a lake that is full of fish, a smaller stamp fish, and I'm sure there's going to be anglers catching a lot more fish on there, but of a smaller size. And then, of course, we're on the bridge pool, and as for those of you that don't know it, the bridge pool is notorious for holding some big fish. So you could have half the amount of fish than the anglers around you on the other lakes, but actually tenfold more weight because they are big fish in here. The question is, are they going to feed? And this is what's going to be interesting. So I'm going to get all my stuff ready, feed my peg, and mostly do a bit of a talk about how the day is getting on, how the match is getting on halfway through the match. But fingers crossed, let's see who is going to get crowned the Edge Champion and see what happens in the next 3 hours.
Afternoon, here on the first Edgemasters event that's ever been run, brainchild of Nick Speed and Gary Rodgers. Really looking forward to it. I think it's an event that we could probably do with a little bit more of, something a little bit different. It's a 3-hour race. It's a 3-hour race. See what you can from down your edges. You've got a fish to cover. There's a 30-metre limit. So I'm quite looking forward to what we're actually going to catch today. I believe that I'm in a decent area. I've never really drawn this bank at Croft before because it's never really in. I've only drawn on here a few times, but I'm told it's a decent area. So fingers crossed, end of the day, go walking away with a nice check. The Edgemasters wrote on it.
Right guys, here we are today, the first ever Edgemasters. Now this is a concept dreamt up by a good mate of mine, Nick Speed, along with on the flyer, main man Gary Rodgers. So we're at Hallcroft Fisheries today, and obviously as the name suggests, the Edgemasters is about fishing in the edge. So obviously this morning Nick gave out the rules. We've got a 13-metre match, 30-metre pole limit only. You can't fish in front of you, and you can't be more than a metre away from the bank. So completely different, never fished anything like this before. There's 50 of us on it today, and I'm sure next year it's going to be even more. Today I'm on Croft 5, everybody said you wanted to be on Croft. The only thing that's bothering me a bit is there isn't really much, the water's down and there isn't really much cover depth tight, so might have to fish in the depth that I want to, which will be off the bank a bit, but everyone says this is where you want to be, so we'll see, won't we? But there's some good anglers on some great pegs. Jason's over there on an end, Steve Barraclough's on my left on peg 2, so we'll just give it a go.
Right, it's the first ever on the flyer Edgemasters today, and to be honest, when it first came out, I loved the concept of it. I've got to be honest, a bit of a brainwave, I think, and we're at one of my favourite fisheries, Hallcroft. I mean, I've been coming to Hallcroft for a long time. I haven't been recently, to be honest, last 12 months or so, but it is one of my favourite venues, and I think it's absolutely perfect for the first one. Now, I actually got here late, believe it or not. I do after work sometimes, and I got here about 10 minutes late, and there were 2 pegs left in the bag. There were actually both end pegs, if I'm honest with you. Peg 5 on bridge, which is on peg 5 out on bridge, which is a very good peg, and the one that I'm stood on now, which is peg 2 on Croft. Now, as I say, I do know these lakes pretty well, I've got to be honest. I've actually qualified for a fish show before, opposite on peg 27. I'm not so sure what way it's going to win, but I'm quite confident, I've got to be honest, but there's some very good anglers on good pegs, as there always is. I mean, these are, you know, these sort of matches are filled with good anglers. I've got Waco, Adam Wakeling to my right. I think he'll be really hard. He's played it down a little bit, but I think that's a very good peg, he's 5. Jason LeBosque on 15. That bank don't normally go in, I've got to be honest. They normally peg each side, but he's on peg 15 down that banking, so he's got to be one favourite. That wind has been going that way. There's a few others. Lee Riley now, I fancy Lee Riley now, only the reason being is he's on peg 8 on bridge outer, and peg 5 hasn't been drawn now, so one of them things, gives him a little bit more space, but I've got to be honest, I'm really happy with where I am. Not sure what weight's going to win, maybe between 120 and 150 I would have thought. Lakes are fishing reasonably well. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens, but yeah, we'll catch up with you soon.
Right then, lads, I'm going to get this presentation done so we can all get on the road. Just want to say a massive thank you. I think it's great loads of you have come back as well for the presentation. It's always a bugbear of mine when people scarper off with various excuses, because if they'd won, they would still be here, wouldn't they? So thanks for coming back. You had Riley pointing at you about that. There was always some kind of excuse. The hamsters died or something. Right, folks, obviously this is the first year that myself and Nick have run this event, and I just want to say thank you for all the support. It's been absolutely brilliant. Really can't thank you enough. We sold the event out. Obviously, you were all really understanding the fact that we had to move it away from Moat. The one thing I will say is the staff here have been absolutely fantastic. They did so much work on Moat beforehand, getting it ready, trimming it out. Like last minute thing, they've all jumped on all the other lakes and got that together as well. So can we just have a round of applause for them? It certainly wouldn't have been possible without them. Obviously, next year we've already booked the event in. It's the 2nd of July for next year. You guys get the first dibs on that. We're going to make it a 4-hour match next year. So we do listen. Feedback, obviously, a load of people said that you started catching towards the end. So it just makes it better. Listen, 4 hours is still great amount of time to put some good weight together. Fishing's been tough, but I think you'll...
Fish 911.
Yeah. I think you'll agree, though. I personally think it's been great. It's been friendly, it's been lovely, and it's just been I think it's a really good concept that Nick's come up with there, and we've run with it on the fly. So let's get on to today. We're paying first and second in each section. So 90 quid to section winner, 50 quid second in section. We haven't defaulted it because obviously that's your pool's money that you paid into at the beginning. So obviously the people that are predominantly frayed will also get the section money. Section money's been paid out in cash. For those of you that have never been on my festivals before, main frame, because I don't bring cash with me, is paid out electronically. So as anybody that's been on my competition will tell me, once you've won, come up and get this envelope just for the sake of the video and the people at home, and then I'll send you the funds electronically probably tomorrow. Any questions before we start? Good. Then I'll continue. We'll start with the section winners up on Croft today from Peg 2 with a weight of £95, 11 ounce, picking up 90 quid. Steve Barraclough. Well done, mate. Second on Croft with a weight of £74, 12 ounce. Definitely caught the quickest fish I saw. 30 seconds in and he'd caught a fish. I thought, here we go. Picking up 50 quid, Waco. Cheers, mate. Moving on to Reed. Section A. And actually winning the lake here quite comfortably. And it's great to see. It's one of the, not that I'm biased, one of the midi anglers. Liam Lunn. 30, 50, 60, 70. Just check that for me, mate. Should be 90 there.
Yes, thank you.
Cheers, mate. Continuing that section from Peg 9 with a weight of £43, 8 ounce. Picking up 50 quid, A chip chase. Well done, mate. Staying on Reed, section B, with a weight of £40, 10 ounce. Picking up 90 quid. One of the Woodlands superstars with a weight of £40, 10, Peg 31, Jack Barwick. Well done, Jack. Second on that section, section B, with a weight of £37, 12 from Peg 36, Sam Broomed. 2, 3. You get it for him, mate. I'll give that to you then, Sam. You can sort him that out.
No worries, mate.
Right. So moving on to Bridgepool, section A, and it's nice this fella catches. He's getting a bit of money. He comes all the time. It's participation and all that, and you never see him win out. He's a lovely lad. Lee Riley, £90. Yeah, I'll put it in the disabled fund, pal. Hey, he gives me some serious grief, so he deserves. I only get a chance to do it on live feed, so I can proper spank his arse. Second in that section, with a weight of £37, 8 ounce, picking up 50 quid from Peg 11, Nick Speed. Well done, mate.
Moving on to section B with a weight of £95, 14 ounce from peg 56, picking up 90 quid, Steve Reed. Well done, mate. And second in that section, with a weight of £72, 14 from peg 53, picking up 50 quid, is Tobias Edlin. He's had his top off all day, making us fat boys feel ashamed. And final, section C, also on Bridgepool, with a weight of £90 dead from peg 3, picking up 90 quid. I'm going to have to change a tenner by it. Oh, I think I've got some in my wallet. Where's my... Just get me a tenner out the back of that. I'll do it. Oh. It's Mong proof, so I'll do it. Giving you some grief there, pal. Look at that. I'm just showing you. Look what I'm doing here. So, from section C, from peg 3, £90 dead, picking up 90 quid, Sam Count. Well done, mate. Brilliant. And finally, from that section, Ian Moon from peg 10, £84, 6 ounce, picking up 50 quid. Well done, mate. Brilliant.
Thank you.
So that brings me on to the main frame, folks, and it's been ridiculously close at the top. Ridiculously close, as I'm sure you'll agree. And as I said, we're paying these out electronically, so make sure you send me your bank details across. So paying the top 3, third overall, with a weight of £90 dead from peg 3 on Bridge Island, picking up 200 quid, Sam Kelp. Well done, mate. Brilliant. And I'm gutted for him because he's obviously midi-main man here, but we always have to have a second place. With a weight of £95 and 11 ounce from Two Croft, picking up 300 quid, Steve Barraclough. So, folks, that means that this year's winner, and he's beat Steve by 3 ounce. 3 ounce. That's crazy, isn't it? When you talk about the size of the fish in here. I can't help it. I'm just saying. The first ever on the Flyer TV Edgemaster Champion 2024, picking up 600 quid and a lovely cheque, but don't try and cash it, pal, because it's just for your mantelpiece. Steve Reed. Well done, mate. That's absolutely fantastic, mate. I'll get a picture of you in a minute. So, folks, that's it. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you again next year. Make sure you send me a message because you'll have first dibs of getting booked on. Can I have the top 3 for a picture, please? Cheers, mate. So, Steve, obviously you've won, mate, the first ever on the Flyer TV competition here at Hallcroft, which is the Edgemaster 2024.
Yep.
Mate, fantastic. And you sneaky little devil. I came to you like halfway through, said, have you catching anything? You were like, no, but the fella next to me, which was Tobias, you said he was emptying it, so you must have had a really good run at the end.
Yeah, I've had a difficult day. The margins, there's 2 posts in the edge, and I've lost a few fish early on. So I was pulling my hair out a bit, and basically, like I say, Tobias, he's got some fish. He was admitting to £50 after the first hour.
Yeah,
so
he had a really good start,
he did a really good start, and I think he ended up with 10 fish, and he thought they were all obviously a little bit bigger than what they were. But yeah, I've just decided to man it up. Is the honest answer. I've ripped 2 foot of elastic out my top kit and tightened it right down.
Just and then pull them fish out a bit more.
So yeah, if I had any less than that, they're going round the post and up into the reeds and what have you. So I just had to, when the float went under, I just lifted and shut my eyes and shit back. That was it.
No, it's been a great move because obviously you've won by 3 ounce. I think
I know.
3 ounce.
I know.
You beat me old mate Steve Barraclough.
I've had a skimmer down the edge with 5 minutes to go. It's probably been the difference. So
I'm sure he doesn't want to hear that.
No, at least he want a perch.
how have you caught? What's you predominantly caught on?
So I was at the Glebe last week on a RAF Inter-Services, as it goes, and the theme of that week was casters down the edge, so that's what I've done today.
You fished casters?
I've fed casters and fish bunches of maggots over the top of it. That seemed to be...
Because you were having a decent stamp as well, weren't you, when I saw you anyway?
Yeah, I've had a few. It was best just to put like 100 millicasters in and come away and leave it. go down my other edge and just have a look. And 9 times out of 10, I never caught anything down there, but just wait for them to get a bit of confidence, come back. And then I've had to fish like a 3-foot lash over the top, because it was 13 inches deep. It was really, really shallow in that corner. And like I say, just let them come back, build a bit of confidence, and then just pot a few casters in amongst it, and then just drop like a bunch of maggots in the middle of it.
Well, mate, it's obviously worked. It's been a great performance, and obviously this is the first time we've run a competition like this. We've had loads of good feedback. This event sold out. Obviously, unfortunately, we had to move it off Moat and to the other lakes, but still sold this out. We had to obviously decrease the number of anglers to accommodate everybody, but it's great. It's been great.
No, it's fantastic. I mean, I normally fish your silverfish matches up here. And I've started coming up and fishing the Friday evening opens. The venue. It's a shame it's not on Moat, because that does fish really well and what have you. But like I say, what the venue's done, what yourself have done to accommodate it and everything, it's fantastic. I can't praise you enough, Gary. Everything you do is brilliant.
It's only possible that likes like yourself subscribing to these things. But on that note, folks, all that's worth saying is we have booked the event for next year again. The entire complex, as always, Hallcroft have been super accommodating. It's the 2nd of July 2025. It's 50 quid this time. We've increased it slightly because we're trying to make this, even though it's a 4 hour, we're increasing it actually to 4 hours, which is going to be important, but we're trying to make it a big money event for just those 4 hours. And 50 quid for the ticket, I think, is more than reasonable for the amount of money that you're going to get back in return, because we should be able to hit that £1,000 mark for next year. But listen, mate, you've been fantastic.
Thank you very much.
And massive well done to you.
Thank you.
And 2024 Edgemasters Champion.
I know, can't believe it.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Mate.